Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is RuneSnow. Today we're going to be going over Magic the Gathering top 10 eggs. That's right, so let's begin with the top 10 eggs at number 10. Well, at number 10, we got good old Mysterious Egg from Icaro, Lair of Behemoths. It's common, going for 5 cents on the market. This egg basically says whenever this creature mutates, put a +1/+1 counter on it. So the reason why it's at number 10 is, well, this isn't actually good. It only revolves around mutate. So if there's nothing to do with mutate, this card is absolutely useless. But it is a pretty fancy card if you do that. Plus, I like the picture. It's very impressive. And the saying is, a good forage if you can find it. But eat it before you get back to the sanctuary. The guards won't let you bring it through the gates. And now, at number 9. At number 9, we got Dragon Egg. It's from various sets. This one is from the Commander series. It's a common, going for about 10 cents on the market. And this Dragon Egg is actually kind of really cool because it has a 0/2 defender ability. But when it dies, create a 2/2 red dragon with flying. So that's a bonus because I feel like most people don't have flying creatures. And then also has that ability. This creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn by paying 1 mountain. So this Dragon Egg can turn into a dragon creature, which can therefore be very, very powerful after you cast that 3 mana, which is very expensive, again, for a defender creature, 0/2 for that 3. This is why it's a common, and that ability makes it that much more expensive. This is why it's at number 9, so it's really good and really bad at the same time. So let's just move on to number 8. At number 8, we got Chimeric Egg from Darksteel. It's an uncommon for 12 cents on the market. So it costs 3 mana to play, just as you can see. It says whenever opponent plays a non-artifact spell, put a charge counter on the egg. Remove 3 charge counters from the Chimeric Egg. It becomes a 6/6 artifact creature with trample until end of turn. Now the reason why it's at number 8 is because, well, it's only until end of turn, and then you have to start this process all over again. So even for 3 mana, making that 6/6 trample could be very good, but by the time it does actually get in play, the person most likely will have something that can defend against that. So let's just straight up move on to number 7, which we have at number 7, Biolume Egg. It's from Innistrad, Crimson Vow. It's an uncommon, going for, that's right, 1 cent. It's this uncommon. I can't believe it's just so cheap. So this card is brand new on the block when the time of this video was made. This is a new set. So this is Defender 0/4 for 3 mana. So it's not the best, but it is actually better for a Defender card for casting cost. But it does says Scry 2, which is really, really cool. Scrying 2 is a good factor in making this card. And then when you sacrifice it, return to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step, which would be a 4/4. So servants leave their eggs in the cold and inky depths. It's a really cool picture. I think this card is very underrated because sacrificing, if you're playing against someone who wants to destroy creatures, you can sacrifice his own creature, which is very hard. This is why it's at number 7. It's just a hard workaround, but it can be done. So let's move on to number 6. So at number 6 is most cards you've seen with the Rukh Egg. It's from Arabian Night, or 8th or 9th edition. And back in the day, it was rare, and now it's a common. So that's why the price difference is worth $37.83, because it's from the old set, and those cards are worth a lot of money. Otherwise, it is just worth 44 cents. Nothing too special. So this Rukh Egg, it costs 4 mana for a 0/3. Very expensive. But it says when it goes into the graveyard, it can become a 4/4 red flying creature. It comes into play on your side at the end of the turn. Use a counter to represent Rukh. Rukh is treated exactly like a normal creature, except that if it leaves play, it is removed from the game entirely, which is pretty standard. But for a 4 red flying creature, again, I go back to this egg transforming into a flying creature, which does give that extra ability. And it's a 0/3 for 4. So you can have that ability. So you're not sacrificing like the Biolume. It's straight up putting that 4/4. And this is why it's here. So let's move on to halfway down the list at number 5. At number 5, we got Summoner's Egg from 5th Dawn. It's a rare, going for $3.28 for an egg. That is very impressive. So basically, it has imprint. When it comes into play, you may remove a card in your hand from the game and face it down. When Summoner's Egg is put into a graveyard from play, return the imprinted face down card face up. If that card is a creature card, put into play under your control. So this is very, very powerful because it costs 4 mana for the 0/4. And, well, basically you want it to die. So you hope that the opponent attacks with something greater so it can basically die. And then if it does, you can bring out like that 10/10 or whatever it is. Or you can simply destroy it yourself. So this is at number 5. It was really hard to decide where I wanted this card on the list, but I felt it deserved to be at least in the top 5, which it is, and this is a really good egg. So let's move on to number 4. At number 4, we got Golden Egg from Throne of Eldraine. It's a common going for 13 cents, and I actually really like this card. As a personal value, this is at number 1. I really like this Golden Egg. It costs 2 mana. It says, when it enters the battlefield, draw a card. 1, sacrifice, add 1 mana of any color. Or 2, you gain 3 life. So if you have an artifact deck, this does help with that ability. Again, it's just a personal common. This is one of my favorite eggs as a common card. And in fact, this one is the first one calling it a food, which is really cool. But other than that, this is just a personal thing. I like this card. So let's move on to number 3. At number 3, we have Triassic Egg from Legends or Chronicles, that therefore making it a rare for $28, or that's right, 38 cents. This is really cool. It costs 4 mana like most eggs. And you can see it's kind of transforming. So it costs 3, tap, put 1 counter on Triassic Egg. If there are at least 2 such counters, you may sacrifice it. Take any creature from your hand or graveyard and put it directly into play. Treat this creature as though it were just summoned. Wow, so that's really cool. So you can get that extra card. I really like that. Even though it has 2 counters, there are abilities where you can put counters on the artifacts, or you can just pay it up. So it does really make a difference. It does look familiar with the 5th Dawn card. So this is really cool. This is why it's at number 3, is you can get that creature out relatively fast if you need to. And then get 2 creatures in play as well. So let's move on to number 2. So at number 2, we got Dingus Egg. It's from various sets. It's rare. And again, with the price point difference, right now it's worth $131 for it being old school, like the alpha or beta, or the new one calling 39 cents. Whoop-de-doo. It is very expensive on the end, but I do believe how this egg is used, making it at number 2. It does cost 4 mana, but it says whenever anyone loses a land, egg does 2 damage to that player for each land lost. So it does go against an opponent who may sacrifice a land to bring in a new land. And then there's so many land destructions in various colors, even like, Chronicles with erosion, blue, right? Anything. So this can be really done well. This continuous artifact, as it says in the card, is really good if you can get that out right away. But let's move on to number 1. At number 1, we have Smoldering Egg. It's from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. It's a rare going for $1.15. That's only because it is in the current standard rotation of this video. But I think this card is very good. But like most eggs, it has Defender, but it costs 2 mana for a 0/4. So therefore, that does make that Defender ability more plausible instead of paying 4 mana for a 0/4. It says whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, put a number of Ember counters on the egg, which, again, it is red, so that could be very easily done if you're doing mono red. Then, if it has 7 or more counters on it, remove them and transform egg, and it'll be a 4/4. You make a blue-red deck, which is commonly used for this card at the standard, it can be done quite fast. And that is all the top 10 eggs in the Magic. So I hope you guys have a good day and a good evening.